Hi, it's Fran, Sisco. Now about this photo. Pretty cool family photo, right? Typical Sunday at the Felice home. That's me on the left. When I was a boy and 6 years old. Now I'm a transgender woman in my 60s, although I hope I look much younger. My brother Robert is dressed like me, and he's about 3. My grandfather, John Felice, Fortunato is his Italian-born first name, is behind me, and my grandmother Sophie is next to him. Around the table are all their children, sons Dom and John, also called Dick, and Lou. Sal is the photographer. One daughter, Estelle, is absent, and the other daughter, Eleanor, my mother, is seated on the right side with her husband, my father Frank, also called Buddy, seated next to her. The others include spouses and children and a few cousins. The house experienced a lot of joy during the 3 generations and nearly 90 years, and hopefully many more with the new owners. It lasted 90 years in my family because of being a flexible home. His first house on Madeline Avenue was lost in the Great Depression, when my grandfather's masonry business declined. He thought ahead when he bought a lot in addition to the house, which helped make it a flexible home. When my grandmother Sophie died, my grandfather, I guess, could not adjust to living alone in the house, and he moved into an apartment and sold the house to my mother and father. We moved into it from an attic apartment in my other grandparents' house in Mount Vernon, a nearby town, when I was about 14 and my brother Robert was 11. Robert was hearing impaired and got special attention and speech training at Jefferson Elementary School, right in the back of our new home. I enjoyed the area, especially the nearby beaches and parks. I moved out when I got married at age 25 to live in an apartment, and 1 year later, my wife Lori and I bought our own home. My father's mother, Mary, whom we called Nani, was developing Alzheimer's and sold her 3-family house in Mount Vernon, which also housed my father's brother, Joe, and his family. With a portion of the sales proceeds, my father contracted for a second apartment to be added to the right side of the 26 Park Ridge Avenue home. He built it right and well, with all the necessary permits, making the house a legal 2-family home. At that time, he widened and lengthened the driveway to allow for at least 6 parked cars and constructed a concrete floor storage area under the entire addition. A separate burner was installed and separate electrical panel. This second apartment was sizable, with a great room, with a kitchen on one side, a bedroom, and a bathroom, with plenty of closets, windows, and light, and a spacious layout. Nani was very happy. My parents were relieved to have her next door as her Alzheimer's worsened, so they could help more easily than if she lived away. In about 1984, my brother Robert became HIV positive and would stay on the second floor of the main home frequently alternating between his apartment in the metro New York area. The more my parents saw him, the better they felt. Sometimes he recovered from periodic health problems by staying in the house on the second floor. When Nani died in 2003, my parents rented the apartment to a Lebanese doctor who worked in a nearby hospital. My brother Robert died in 2004 of liver failure due to HIV medications. The stress of his death significantly and adversely affected my parents. Within a few months of him dying, they went from healthy, vibrant, youthful-looking people in their 70s to my father having depression and Alzheimer's and my mother having Parkinson's. My father and his caregiver moved into the second apartment, and my mother used the main part of the house, with her caregiver sleeping on the first floor, but storing her belongings in the finished basement. My father died in 2011, and my mother used the bedroom in the second apartment to avoid the stairs to go to the bedrooms on the second floor. Her caregiver slept in a bed in the great room adjacent to her bedroom, attentive to her waking up at night and walking around and possibly falling. Sometimes I slept over to monitor her care to do tasks around the house. We rented out the second floor to help provide cash to pay the added expenses of caregivers, and we had plans to rent out the entire main part of the house. But my mother died on August 30th, 2014, but peacefully, in her sleep, in her own bed, in her own home. The flexibility the house offered enabled us throughout the many years to be more resourceful than we would have ordinarily been. I think back to my grandfather John and how lucky we were that he bought this house and we kept it in the family. It's probably not a coincidence that his Italian real first name was Fortunato. I pray the next owners will be as lucky as we to have had a wonderful, loving family and live in this house, a true treasure.